Hi, I'm Tom Garner. I'm on Bulldog Hill. This is October the 14th, 2025, and I'm doing my thoughts segment. And I know most of you would rather hear some fantastic, entertaining story about great dogs, and we'll get back to more of that soon, probably next week. But as I've said in the past, the number one priority is to prepare for tomorrow before you enjoy today. So, in order to be good representatives of our pit bull fraternity, whether you be a, a person with a family and a pet that is also a pit bull pet that is also a family member, or whether you be an aspiring dog breeder, uh, it's very important that you come to terms with the moral treatment of animals. I've touched on this in some previous episodes, but it should be a starting point for anybody who hopes to own an animal. You should have some grasp other than what's in your gut as to what constitutes the uh, proper treatment of an animal, the proper way of interacting with an animal. Whenever you take an animal, put it under your control, confine its movement, its access to food, water, shelter, and that you agree to take responsibility for providing all those things for the animal at that point. And that's where it starts. That's not where it ends. You got to include um, providing companionship for the dog. And most of these dogs want nothing more than a job. They want to be active. They want to satisfy their need to be involved in what is for them meaningful activity. So just collecting dogs and marginally meeting their needs, not keeping them warm in the winter, not providing them with proper nutrition, not keeping them parasite free. That that just doesn't work. It doesn't work with me, and it's not consistent with my idea of people and animals, and in particular, my area of primary concern is how people interact with pit bulls. So I'm going to share about three different levels of thoughts. I'm not going to get too super in depth with this, but I will provide you with access to material where you can study it a little more in depth. The first easiest way of gauging your treatment of animals is put yourself in the position of the animal. If you were experiencing what the animal is experiencing, would you be happy? Would you be content? Would you be healthy? Uh, if I can't count how many times that I've gone outside at 3 o'clock in the morning and be a snowstorm, middle of the winter, and I wake up to 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm concerned: is my dog cold? Are my dogs comfortable? And almost invariably, I go out there trudging out there, usually in short pants and sneakers, and put my hands in the doghouse with the dogs, and uh, they're generally quite toasty. Uh, but that presumes a structurally sound doghouse and plenty of straw. Wheat straw is what we use because it's a better insulator. So uh, if I look at a dog's body weight, I can tell whether he's getting enough calories and he's getting proper nutrition. Um, these things are pretty easily assessed if you will just simply put yourself in the position of the dog. If I was experiencing what he's experiencing, would I would I be healthy? Would I be happy? And if you meet that basic acid test of whether or not you are morally you're treating your dog correctly and therefore meeting a moral standard, a good moral standard for your interaction with a confined kept animal, that's a good start. If you're a person who's thinking about it a little more deeply but don't have gut level instincts, but you need to have an actual measuring tool, uh, back whenever I was writing and editing this magazine, I guess this one's probably from 2004. I created a basically a yardstick for measuring the morality of man's interactions with animals. And what I would have you do is screenshot this and study it. And what you're going to see is we have two pyramids here. One of them represents the needs of man. The other one represents the needs of animals. They started at the base with biological and safety needs. This was known as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's a cornerstone of one branch of psychology. So at the base you have safety needs, and you have we have to breathe, we have to eat, and we have to be free from being physically assaulted. That's at the very most important level of our needs as living things, both man and animal. And then you move up to um, needs like the need to reproduce, need to compete, need to satisfy genetically encoded instinctive agendas. We have that. It's true for both man and animal. And then at the top, we have more elective self-actualization needs. Um, Man will ponder what's the meaning of life, and we have a need to know. We need to be able to have some grasp of what it means to be human. To the, these are existential needs, self-actualization needs. So the point is here is how these two pyramids of needs, hierarchies of needs, interact. It's from the biblical days on down. It's been clear that if a man needs to sacrifice an animal in order to eat or to feed his family, then um, that is a moral thing to do. You certainly would want to explore all other alternatives along the way. It wouldn't be just your first. If you've got a can of beans in the cupboard, then you don't need to kill something first. You explore all possibilities, but if you need to sacrifice an animal in order to eat, then these are equal. You're satisfying a basic need, but you're committing a basic um, insult. But that is acceptable. That falls within the realm of morality. Uh, Next, which is more of a gray area, you're satisfying these middle level needs, um, in, but you are creating a basic level insult. And then you get up here to the point where you're satisfying a highly selective need, highly elective need, um, but with a basic level insult. Something I would put in in this category would be bullfights. Uh, Personally, uh, I don't. I dislike bullfighting. Basically, a noble animal who has no clue what the hell's going on, doesn't want to be there, gets sacrificed, uh, so people can enjoy this, whatever they want to call it, artistry of the trying to remember what I want to call the guy, the bullfighter. So that's an example of something that would fall, in my idea, outside the realm of moral treatment of an animal. So if you need to have a formal measuring tool and all of the construct laid out, I think this goes a long way towards providing your framework in which you can evaluate the moral treatment of an animal. The other aspect of it, which makes it a little more difficult to sort out, is the occasions in which there is an insult to the individual animal, uh, but the overall collective effect for the species of the animal is super positive. So that reflects the complexity of life, the complexity of our world. Um, One thing you might look at as an example of that, there are probably 1,000 times more chickens now than there ever were at any point in the past in the existence of planet Earth. Uh, and that's because they are a food source for humans. So you have the chickens that get sacrificed in order to put that piece of of that chicken tender on your plate, it's a pretty significant sacrifice for that animal. But then there's 1,000 times more chickens than there would be if that mechanism were not in place. So I'll leave you to ponder that, the individual level moral treatment of animals versus the collective effect. Um, so these are the three angles I would have you look at. Make your peace with the moral treatment of animals. Don't don't take something that's noble, super noble, like our pit bulls are. Uh, uh, Noble things should have minimal suffering, just enough suffering in life in order to build character. And we don't need to be the idiots that are running around setting bad examples and ill-treating animals that have great nobility about them. All right, thanks for joining us, and ponder what we've had to say and come to terms with it in your own mind. Have a good day.